head movement is a really vital part of any self-defense curriculum. It's not given the time and attention that it deserves, in my opinion. It's very, very valid, and it should be part of your training. I'm not adverse to blocking. There is a time and a place for blocking, like there is a time and a place for head movement, and a time and a place for covering. We all know the 90-degree rule. It is valid, but what happens if you're a little bit slow to respond? What happens if the person who's throwing the shot at you outweighs you significantly? It's debatable, even if I get all that structure and everything perfectly, whether that will be enough to stop the force and stop the blow from coming through. The other thing about it, about blocking as well, if someone's throwing that big haymaker or that big hook and you're able to block it, you're kind of stopping it about there, all right, which enables them to fire back with something else. So it enables that, the combinations to roll. So if you were to bob and weave in that instance and they threw that shot, it opens them up significantly for whatever counter it is that you do. The other thing about head movement, it's a really great second line of defense or last line of defense, in that I'm sure it's happened to you that you're walking somewhere and out the corner of your eye you catch something that's about to hit you in the head, whether it's a ball or a tree branch or whatever it is, and you've ducked and you've got out of the way. I've done that many, many times. There's a good sample size in itself to show you that it does work and that you're capable, okay? Factor in, people have done it many, many times in the ring and in self-defense circumstances. What more of a sample size do you need than that? It's a really good last line of defense. Other instances where it may come in handy is what happens if you can't use your arms for some reason. So perhaps, number one, it's injured. I had my arm in a sling for a time, a little while ago, and my arm was useless. Number two, what happens if someone's holding your arm? So perhaps the person that's hitting you is holding their arm and they're hitting you. It's really hard, virtually impossible to get that arm up to use it to defend yourself. And what happens if one of their mates comes and grabs you from behind and grabs your arms and they're hitting you? Or perhaps one of your mates tries to drag you away, or your significant other tries to drag you away, and while they're pulling you away, someone tries to hit you. So your arms in that instance can't really help you, but I can still move my head in. What happens if you're carrying something? I've had someone take a swing at me when I was carrying groceries once. Could be, what happens if they have an implement in their hand? So they've got something that if they swung it at you and you put your arm up, it's not going to end well regardless. If you can get your head out of the way or move out of the way, it's far better to be evasive than to meet that force on force. Another thing is, it may not always be appropriate to have your hands in a tactical position. It's not. An example would be moving. If you're walking along like this, kind of looks a little bit odd, and sometimes those kind of postures, mannerisms may exacerbate the situation. So there are examples of that. And lastly, I'm not going to show you how to bob and weave or show you how to slip, but what I'm going to tell you is you can go to any reputable boxing gym the world over and they'll be able to show you that. What I am going to say to you though is make sure that you can do it from both stances, number one. Number two, do it from disadvantageous positions. Someone grabbing your arm, someone grabbing your arms, anything that may occur, try and replicate it. And when you're doing it, make sure you're in a proactive structure. So by that I mean, if I'm slipping, it's not an awkward slip, it's a slip where I'm in control, where I'm proactive, so that if I need to, after I slip, I can come back with my own shot, or after I slip, I've still got my legs under me and I can cover up or continue to defend whatever I need to do. But it must be part of your training arsenal if you're training this holistically.